Hello guys, we are back with Roger to my left.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
Alright mate, you?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Well then, going into Preston tomorrow, be another tough test. How do you feel going into it?
Well, given the fact they just beat Bournemouth, it does kind of change my perspective on it. And considering the fact that we have a pretty dreadful home record against them, so it's that's not encouraging really. But given the fact I think they're like 15th, yeah, it's a game we need to be winning, and especially I think after not beating Sheffield, who pretty much in a similar situation to Preston. It would be quite disappointing if we had particularly back-to-back home games against teams around us and we don't take at least 3 points on one of them. I think a draw against Sheffield and win against Preston would be probably about fair. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. I mean, I know Preston are not doing that well, but it is a game we should be winning, really.
Oh, yeah, completely agree. I mean, we could have won it on Tuesday and against QPR with the chances we had,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we left it late as usual. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice not to be losing, and we are actually getting points out of games.
Yeah, I mean, we can moan about it all we like, but it's not going to change anything. But like the referees have been pretty dreadful. They're always dreadful, but of late they have been extra bad. And you could argue a case that they've cost us 4 points at least. Because against QPR, I think it was a pretty fair shot for a penalty, maybe even twice, or at least once. And I think the other day, maybe some might say it's soft, but I probably would have given it because I think it was Basham. He did put his leg in front of Johnson, and there's contact. He can't. It's not. I don't know how he can say that Johnson dived because he did make contact with him. A dive is when you just literally play acts. So yeah, I think the refs have been atrocious. But yeah, you're right. Even without the refs being poor, we could have just won it on our own accord, really. But I think draw against QPR was great. It's a good result. That Sheffield, yeah, you could argue case we should have won that really because they didn't. I don't know about anything special really.
Yeah, I mean, from where I sit in Low Bishop, it looked like a penalty, but then when you look at it from like other angles, you could question it. Was it a penalty? What weren't it? Was it? But then it probably wouldn't have been a yellow card for diving.
I definitely not. I mean, where I was sitting, literally everyone got up and just shouted at the ref saying penalty, surely. And when it wasn't given, it was disbelief, and it wasn't exactly the best atmosphere when he didn't get the penalty, which was arguably it should have been. But yeah, I agree, it should have been a penalty. But I mean, that's the championship referees for you, really.
Yeah, I mean, VAR probably would have gave it.
Probably, yeah. I mean, there wasn't just that. There was a few other calls where players went down, and it should have been a penalty. Or, for instance, maybe they thought the player fouled him too easily. It was just a really, really poor refereeing performance again. And I just think Cooper, you could see he was holding back what he wanted to say in his interview, and I don't blame him, really. He said, "You're not going to stand for this refereeing." See whether he can do anything about it. I doubt he can, but we'll see what happens with that one.
Okay, I mean, Preston. Touched up on about it, beating Bournemouth in the week. I mean, they are that sort of team. Well, they're that sort of team that I probably wouldn't expect to get results, but they're not. They haven't got anyone spectacular like you'd like to say. Oh, he plays for them. They are that sort of team that they are a proper team.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are the definition of a championship club, really. Like they're just there. I suppose Forest are that kind of club, really. We're always just there. But Preston, it's always been a game that I haven't looked forward to as much as others because it's always tends to be quite dull from what I remember. And it never tends to go our way, really, because I mean, I went to Preston a few years ago and we lost 3-0. And yeah, it wasn't a good game at all. Obviously, last season they beat us at home on the last day of the year. We did beat them away, of course, through that grand penalty at Deepdale. But yeah, he hasn't got the best record against them, which isn't that encouraging. And maybe you could say records don't mean anything, but I think you have to take it into consideration. And, you know, Bournemouth haven't lost, and you're just going to see Preston go and beat them before they play us. It's just our luck, really, that that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it would be a tough game regardless.
Mm. I mean, I remember going to Preston when Forest beat them 2-1 when McGoodin scored them 2 goals.
Yeah.
Going Preston away, where Deepdale is a tough place. It's
very, yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, Jack Colback did play well. He put in his usual performance against Sheffield United, even though he was at left wing back. But we did miss him in that centre midfield Tuesday with Yates in there. So do you think Colback going back in there Saturday might be good?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think Colback did really well, saying he was playing out of position, and he has played there before, but it's not where he should be playing, really. And I think we definitely did miss him. There's a few times where you saw him just slowly drift back into midfield because that's where he's used to being. But I mean, sometimes he was on the wing, which seems very uncharacteristic for Jack Colback. But I mean, it was weird seeing Colback, Yates, and Garner all on the pitch at the same time. Because I don't think Garner was as bad as he has been in the past, but it definitely was not man of the match worthy. I thought that was very, very polite. Should have been Jed Spence, without a doubt, in my opinion. Yates, again, was fantastic. He's becoming the player we all wanted him to become. But yeah, I think Colback, he'll obviously go back into midfield, and what that means for Garner, maybe he will get dropped. Maybe it would be a bit harsh if he did, but I personally would do that and bring Max Lowe back in. It's pretty funny though that saying that Colback played essentially left wing back. We have Bong on the bench and he still couldn't get a look in. It says a lot about how good he is, really. And I think he's only on the bench because we've got like Tutu injured and Eli, for example. I think when one of those are fit, he won't be on the bench, hopefully, anyway.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, Garner, we all questioned it why he got man of the match Tuesday. I was like,
really,
well, Colback, I know, I was like, it's either Man United fans paid for it or did it, or
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Like if they just do it because he's on loan from a so-called Big Six club. You know, you can't really take it that seriously because I don't really think that they actually put much thought into who gets man of the match. I think they just wouldn't be surprised if they just pick a name out of a hat and just say, yeah, you're man of the match. He definitely wasn't James Garner. He wasn't quite as ineffective as he has been in the past, but you look at Jed Spence, he was constantly putting in good tackles and, you know, dribbled around a few players in one go. Yeah, he should have got man of the match, in my opinion.
Definitely. Would there be any more changes about that obvious one? I mean, there's a lot of people been putting about Joe Lolly should be playing, and that seems to be going back in.
I mean, I put Graham back in. I don't think Taylor was very effective. I think that was just rotation, to be honest, that he went in. I mean, you know, Grabham, he comes off the bench and he immediately scores a goal, and he's already broken his record from last season, which says a lot about how bad last year was. But yeah, I think I'd definitely put Graham back into the side. Lolly, I'd like to see Lolly play because he's always been one of my favourite players for Forest, but I don't know. He's just not quite the player that he used to be, and I think he is better than last year because last year he was very average. I thought. I think he has had his moments this year where he's got into dangerous positions, like against Bristol. He put the ball into the area for the goal. It's basically an assist for Taylor, of course. I would love to see Lolly, you know, get a proper run of games where he can really try and knuckle down because he's getting into the right positions a lot more. He's shooting a lot more than he used to. And you could tell he's really hungry to, you know, start scoring goals again because it's something that he has not done nowhere near enough of late. And even the goal he got against Huddersfield was arguably, it was an own goal, I think. So he wants to get a proper goal outright. Maybe he could say Zinchenko should be in. I mean, I don't think Zinchenko was amazing when he came on, but we know what a great player he is. I'd like to see Mighton get a chance, to be honest, because seen some people say he should get loaned out, which I wouldn't be overly against because he is a young player, and I think at his age he needs to be starting games regularly. And right now he's not getting that at Forest. But it's not a case of the fact that he's not good enough for this level. I think he is, but he just can't start at the moment. But I think he will in the future for sure. But yeah, to answer your question, I'd start grabbing, and I probably would put Zinchenko in for Lolly, based off how, because Lolly wasn't unreal the other day, really.
Obviously, there's been a bit of talk on Ojo being. I mean, he nearly came on Tuesday. I mean, people have been saying quite a bit about how he's getting closer and closer to that coming on, but just playing in the right time. I mean, there has been a lot of positivity about him.
Yeah, I mean, he played in that under 23s game against Burnley. I watched him a lot, and I thought he was pretty good. To be fair, I think he reminded me of Garner, the Garner of last season, really, where he was, just always wanting the ball, spraying good balls all over the pitch. I think looks like a really useful player, and it's got to be very frustrating for him that he still can't get even a substitute appearance. I don't think he's going to start just yet. And it's a nice problem to have because we have got some really good options now in midfield. Colback's rejuvenated. Yates is suddenly incredible. Even though Garner's up below par, he is still a good option. And obviously a Hayder. And then we've even got players that we're forgetting about, like Cafu and Fauna. So we've got some great depth in midfield. But yeah, a Hayder, or however you say his name, I'd like to see him get a chance at some point. It's same with Drager as well. Bit off topic, but I don't know why he's not getting on the bench at the very least. Maybe he sees something in Bong that he doesn't see in Drager. But yeah, I'd like to see a Hayder get a chance at some point soon.
What would be your scoreline for the game against Preston?
I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, really. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw, but I think we have to be winning this one. It would be a bit disappointing if we didn't, especially after not beating Sheffield United. So, yeah, I think I'd go for 2-1 to Forest, to be honest. It's a popular scoreline these days.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you for coming on.
No problem.
So I'll catch you guys later.